Hey artists, welcome to another peel off paint along video where we paint, peel, and create something together. Today we're painting a playful pink flamingo and giving it a bold custom background that makes it stand out. You'll use your peel off stencil, a few simple tools, and colors you already have. No drawing needed, just paint, peel, and relax. Here's what you'll need. I'm using an 8x10 canvas panel, but you could also use a stretched canvas, a canvas tote bag, or a piece of wood. Your flamingo head peel-off stencil, a palette. It could be a palette paper, like what's included in a peel-off kit, or you can use a foam plate, or you could use a plastic palette, anything that you'd like to hold your paints. You'll need blue and yellow to make green if you don't already have green. You'll need red and white to make pink if you don't already have pink. I want 3 shades of pink, so I'm gonna make 3 mixes. Black for the beak and white for the beak. We're gonna use a medium flat brush and a small round brush. A cup of water to clean your brushes and a paper towel to help dry your brushes off between colors. Let's get started. First, we're going to press our stencil onto the canvas. We're just gonna peel this off of the backing. Save this because when you're done with and peel this off your canvas, you can put it right back and reuse it for another project. I am going to place mine so that the head is at the very tippy bottom of my canvas. I'm doing mine upside down so it's easier for you to see. I'm going to do my whole project upside down for you. Right. So you can either have your flamingo on your canvas on this orientation in portrait, or you can spin your canvas sideways and you can paint your flamingo in this orientation in landscape. I like it in landscape. So I'm gonna rub my stencil down. I want to make sure that no paint can slip through these edges, so I'm primarily just rubbing down on the edges. But it is adhesive, so it is sticking to the canvas. I just want to make sure I push out any bubbles, make sure it's nice and smooth, and it's touching the canvas all around the edges. All right. Now we're going to mix our background color. Since the flamingo is going to be pink, you can choose a cool color or a bold color to make your flamingo pop, like your turquoise, purple, or leafy green. I'm going to use my flat brush because that's what I'm going to use to paint. And I'm just going to spin these colors and let them mix. I'm going to add a little bit of white with my clean brush, just right next to where I mixed. Go ahead and spin my brush clean in the water, dry it off on the paper towel so it's ready when I'm ready for it. And then I'm going to mix in this white. I like this. This gives more tropical vibes. Now I'm going to use this green to paint the background of my flamingo project. I'm going to paint all over. A pro tip, if you wet your brush a little bit, it's a little bit too wet, it'll help you spread color without having to mix or grab more paint. So I'm just going to brush away and enjoy the process of painting. Go ahead and get paint on your stencil. That is exactly what it is there for. Now, when you mix different batches, you're definitely going to get different tones. So go ahead and make sure that you use that new tone in some of the old places that you painted so that it looks nice and smooth colored. I'm going to clean my brush off, wiping it onto my paper towel to make sure that I get all the pigment off of my brush. If you're wiping and there's still color, your brush is not clean. But I'm going to make pure green. I'm going to use my detail brush, my small round brush, and gently mix this so that I'm not mixing it with the color from the bottom. But I do want to make a green. and that is going to be my flamingo's eye. I'm going to wipe it clean on my paper towel, no water needed. I'm going to go into the black, and I'm going to use that for the shadow area in the beak. I'm also going to use some of it in the eye just to make it a little bit darker. So I just made a circle around the eye. So some of that will be coming into the circle, and then I'll end up with a more pronounced eye when I take off my stencil. I just want to make sure that I leave the center green. I'm gonna let it dry. Let's take a quick trivia break while background dries. I have 5 fun questions about flamingos and painting while we wait. Think you can guess them all right? Show me true, false, A, B, or C. Let's go. Question 1. True or false? Flamingos are born pink. The answer is false. Flamingos are born gray. They turn pink by the things they eat, like shrimp and algae. Question 2. What 2 colors do you mix to make pink? Is it A, red and blue, B, red and white, or C, red and yellow? The answer is B, red and white. That's what we'll mix to make our flamingos. Question 3. Flamingos are famous for standing on how many legs? Is it A, 1, B, 2, or C, 4? The answer is A, 1. They're amazing at balancing. Question 4. Which tool did we use to mix colors? Was it A, a palette, B, a sponge, or C, a pencil? The answer is A, a palette. It helps you blend just the right shades. Question 5. What shape does a flamingo neck look like? Is it A, a triangle, B, a circle, or C, the letter S? The answer is C, the letter S. That graceful curve is part of what makes flamingos so fun to paint. Great job, artists! Let's jump back in and finish our fabulous flamingos. Now that our background is dry, we're going to peel off our stencil. I'm gonna grab my backing so I can put it on there. You're just gonna find an area to pinch, use a nail or a spatula that's included. And then you're just gonna peel off the stencil. And I'm gonna put it right back on my paper so I can use this another time for another project. Alright, so now we have the outline of our flamingo. We're gonna do pink mixing. So I have a basic pink that I want with red and white. Everything has shadows and highlights. The shadow shows where the sun or the light does not see on your subject. And the highlights show where the lights hit your subject. So we're going to use this slightly darker pink for our shadows. And for my light pink, I'm going to add white. The more white you add, the lighter it'll be. So now I'm gonna use my small round brush, and I'm just gonna tap away random places on my canvas. Just tap, 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 and enjoy the process. Every painting is going to look different, and that is the beauty of art. There really aren't any mistakes. You're just enjoying the process, pushing some colors around, and creating. Go ahead and get as close to the edges as possible. Go over the edge if you need to, so that you have a nice shape for your flamingo. All right, I feel like I got a nice outline of my flamingo that makes me feel more comfortable to come in and color the space. So just tapping my brush during the process. And now I'm gonna go into my deeper pink. I'm not even gonna clean my brush off. So with this step, we're just filling in the white spaces. I want to have a little bit more definition, so I'm going to clean off my brush, and I'm going to grab a little bit of white, and I'm just going to tap dots of white into the pink areas of my flamingo head. Remember how we talked about highlights and shadows? So I'm going to highlight the top of the head, because that would be where the light would see, down the neck a little bit. And then I'm going to go into my darkest pink, and I'm going to shadow down around the beak, down in the neck, and down at the bottom of my flamingo. You can go back with my lightest pink and go right outside of where I did my darkest shadow pink, so that I can blend it in and spread out that color a little bit. I'm going to clean off my brush because I'm going to go back to my white, whatever's left here of my white, and hit these areas that I wanted to highlight. Just dot, dot, dot. Now the pink on the canvas is wet, of course, and my brush isn't perfectly clean, so my white isn't going to be perfectly white. It's going to be a little bit dirty with the pink, but that's what I want, so that it blends in and it's not white spaces. I'm going to go back with my middle tone of pink and hit the middle of my flamingo. And cover up some of these whites that I added in before. That looks pretty nice. Now I'm going to clean my brush off, because next I want to use pure white. So I'm going to make sure that my brush is really clean. Looks good. Even though my canvas is white, I'm going to paint it white, and you'll see it makes it brighter instead of having that kind of dull white color of the canvas. I'm going to use this to clean up these edges where some of the paint came through. Sometimes you have to do a bunch of little lines before you can do a big line. I'm gonna paint this whole area white, the whole beak. That's the whole beak. Now I'm gonna get my black, just wiped my brush clean. I'm gonna go down to the bottom. Again, small, tiny lines. The color will fill in. You don't have to make big lines. Alright. Looks good. I'm wiping my brush off. And there you are. There you have it. We just made a beautiful summer flamingo. Thanks for making the time to paint with me. I hope this brought you some peace and creative joy today. Subscribe to paint more peel-off projects with us. See you in the next paint along.